Well, the current Utah legislative session will be wrapping up in a couple of weeks, and there are scores of bills being considered by lawmakers.
Many of those bills are of particular interest to baby boomers, but are boomers actively expressing their desires and concerns to their lawmakers?
Fox 13's Dave Nemeth joins us now with a look at baby boomers and political activism. Dave.
Yeah, hey, Bob. When you think of the boomer generation, scenes of protest and calls for change often come to mind. 50 years or so ago, baby boomers were actively engaged in efforts to change things that they deemed unfair. But are they still as active as they used to be?
Power to the people. That's what the baby boomer generation stood for in the 1960s and 70s. But there's no power if there's no action. But are baby boomers reaching out to legislators? Some are, but for others.
And they're intimidated by the process, and they think it's this big institution and they're not part of it. So I think it's really important for organizations like ours and others to let people know, here's how you do it.
AARP Utah Communications Director Laura Polachek says boomers must be involved to make changes happen. That means actively following legislative issues that affect them.
They concern your retirement. They concern prescription drug costs. They concern health care, issues that are vitally important to people 50 plus.
A good example is the recent repeal of the short-lived tax on groceries, which would have put a financial strain on many older Utahns. Public outcry made the difference.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of people that showed up, and 99.5% of them spoke in opposition to having a tax increase.
The tax increase was repealed. Lawmakers heard their constituents.
The legislature listened to people saying, we think this is wrong. We don't support this. We don't support what the process did there.
There are several good resources for learning about laws and bills important to older adults. A good place to start is with the state legislature's own website.
That's le.utah.gov. That will provide all the information you need to follow the legislature during the session and during the year.
You'll also find helpful tools at aarp.org/getinvolved with an easy-to-follow guide to what's happening in the legislature.
Here's how you find out who your representatives are. Here's how you find out what the issues are. So they can feel invested and they can feel like it's meaningful.
The current Utah legislative session ends in just a couple weeks. Older adults still have time to be heard and not feel powerless.
You alone are sending an email, but maybe 500 of your neighbors are sending an email with the same message. And that's powerful and that's important.
All right, the last day of the current legislative session is March 12th, so those looking to get a message across to lawmakers don't have long to be heard. If you would like more information on how to contact your legislators, go to our website, fox13now.com. We'll have a couple links there for you. In studio, Dave Nemeth, Fox 13 News, Utah.